Keep your eyes open!
Yo, what is up, guys? It's your boy X. I'm currently not in my house, but I want to talk about a couple things that I think are very interesting. Some people honestly don't like the new hitbox placements. I've actually had a couple people tell me that it messes up their sour spot confirms. So for instance, sour spot fair and more noticeably sour spot up air are two moves that are a lot more harder to get a sour spot intentionally, just due to the fact that the tipper is just a little bit more forgiving. And it got me thinking as to why they made this change. You know, a lot of people, including myself, we thought that they were just gonna give Marth more length. They were gonna give him a little bit more length in his sword, so that way he can space a lot farther and maybe even have a little bit more length than Lucina. Why do I keep saying length? Length doesn't really... Range, my bad, range. But we all thought that Marth was gonna get range when it came to like buffing his tippers. But when I started thinking about it, I'm just like, wait, buffing his range? It probably wouldn't have been a noticeable enough buff. Think about it like this. What was the biggest problem when it came to Marth's tipper pre-patch? It was inconsistent. A lot of hurtbox shifting caused the sour spot to hit the opponent's hitbox. If you were to add a little bit more range to Marth, those problems would still be there. The only difference is Marth would have slightly more range, which would obviously give him more range to like land a tipper, but from a farther distance. The main problem with Marth's aerials pre-patch was that sour spot smothered that tipper. Adding more range, what these new hitboxes allow for Marth to get are tippers when opponents are closer to him than normal. Now he's able to land more tippers consistently regardless if they're closer to him, like this clip. If Marth was to have kept the same sour spot hitboxes with just a little bit more range, things like what I showed you just now wouldn't be possible. Because regardless of him having more range, that sour spot would still smother part of the hitbox. What the buffs do now is it's a lot more forgiving for Marth to land the tipper. A combo that's been buffed, sour spot up air to tipper up air, it's a lot more consistent now. But if Marth had range, yes, Marth would be able to get it, but Marth would still have that sour spot smothering that range that didn't allow him to get the tipper that it does now. It's a little bit more forgiving. Now people are like, but doesn't that defeat the purpose of spacing? I don't think so. I'm gonna tell you why. Roy has an everywhere spot. That forward tilt, back air, that just be sweet spotting like whenever. Right? I think it's time for Marth to get a little bit of that, but you still have to space. Somebody commented like saying, oh, I'm still getting sour spots, but it's like you still have to space and you still have to work for it. Now what this buff does is good. I'm tippering more consistent. That's what this buff is. And I'm telling you right now, I think the reason why Marth didn't get super buffed is because I think they wanted to do these slight changes to see how he would fare in tournament nowadays. Due to the fact that Marth is one of those characters that if you were to buff him wrong, he would just be busted. So they probably wanted to play it safe, because characters like Falco and Falcon, man, those were some crazy changes, and I approve. I really do approve. I think just because Lucina is a good character, I think what Sakurai and the development team were afraid of was, wait, if we were to buff his aerials like we did now, and then also buff his dancing blade, he may become busted. So let's just do this small tweak right now, and then maybe in the future, if we still don't see a major change, we'll give him another buff that'll help him out a little bit more. I think that's what they were going for, and I like it. Also, like, players like Mkleo, they jumped the gun and they said, I don't notice anything of the tippers, but then they tweet this. Mkleo now believes that Marth is good and that he was wrong about his first opinion, which I think is amazing. I think just seeing that and seeing Mr. E and seeing Mkleo play Dittos and seeing Marth just be played a little bit more by like the top players, I think is really good for the Marth meta. I think it's very healthy. Mr. E gave his cosign to Neo Altia, shouted out, played Killer Kel, did amazing. I think this is really good for the Marth meta right now. I know, guys, that it may not seem like humongous buffs, but I think it was still pretty good regardless. Anyways, guys, this is your boy X. I'm sorry for the horrible camera angle. I'm actually just didn't know how to do it, Adam. I had to use a shoe, alright, guys? This is your boy X, and I'm out here.
This is a stupid dope mix.